The massive exploration vessel Horizon Seeker drifted silently through the void, its dark hull absorbing the distant starlight. Captain Marcus Rodriguez stood at the observation deck, his weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as he watched the unfamiliar star system unfold before them. 20 years of deep space exploration had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, every fiber of his being screamed that something was different about this sector. Captain, we're picking up unusual energy signatures, Lieutenant Jasmine Patel reported from her station, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. They're unlike anything in our database. Rodriguez straightened his back, unconsciously adjusting his navy blue uniform. Show me. The main display illuminated with a cascade of data streams, showing energy patterns that pulsed with an artificial rhythm. Before he could analyze them further, a new alert blared through the bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, Officer Wei Chen called out, his voice steady despite the urgency. Configuration unknown, they're massive, sir. Through the viewport, space itself seemed to ripple as 5 vessels materialized. Their hulls gleamed with an iridescent metal unknown to human engineering, each ship easily 3 times the size of the Horizon Seeker. Their design spoke of advanced civilization, smooth, organic curves blending seamlessly with geometric precision. First contact protocol, Rodriguez ordered, his heart racing despite his calm exterior. Open all standard greeting channels, display peaceful intent markers. The alien vessels moved with impossible grace, forming a perfect pentagon around the Horizon Seeker. Their response came not through conventional communications, but as a directed energy pulse that interfaced directly with their ship systems. The bridge's holographic projector sparked to life, revealing a tall humanoid figure. Its skin had a metallic sheen and its eyes glowed with an inner light. When it spoke, its words were translated in real time by their AI. You have entered the sovereign territory of the Nexus Dominion. Your presence here violates countless laws. Prepare for immediate inspection and detainment. Rodriguez stepped forward. I am Captain Marcus Rodriguez of the Earth Exploration Fleet. We are on a peaceful mission of discovery. We were unaware this region was claimed territory. The alien figure's eyes narrowed. Earth, your species is classified as pre-FTL. This vessel should be beyond your capabilities. Perhaps your information is outdated, Rodriguez replied carefully. Humanity achieved faster-than-light travel 15 years ago. A tense silence followed. The alien commander conferred with others off-screen, their movements sharp with agitation. When he returned his attention to Rodriguez, his tone had shifted from dismissive to dangerous. Your ship's energy signature matches those responsible for recent attacks on our outposts. You will power down all systems and prepare for boarding. Rodriguez felt his blood run cold. There must be a mistake. We've only just entered this sector. We have no knowledge of any attacks. Your deception is noted, the alien commander stated flatly. You have 3 minutes to comply or we will disable your vessel by force. As the transmission cut, Rodriguez turned to his crew. Battle stations, quietly, Lieutenant Patel send an encrypted burst transmission to command. Officer Chen, begin power-up sequence for the quantum shields but keep them masked. Sir, Patel hesitated. If we power up our advanced systems, they'll know Earth has been hiding its true technological capabilities. Better they know now than destroy us thinking we're helpless, Rodriguez responded. Humanity kept its advances secret to avoid exactly this kind of confrontation, but they're not giving us a choice. The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency, their actions belying the experimental nature of their ship's most advanced systems. The Horizon Seeker wasn't just an exploration vessel. It was a testbed for humanity's latest technological achievements, hidden beneath the guise of a simple research ship. As the 3-minute deadline approached, Rodriguez watched the alien vessels charge their weapon systems. Their power readings were impressive, but not as overwhelming as their size would suggest. The question was, should humanity reveal its true capabilities now or maintain the deception and risk destruction? The decision was made for him when the first alien vessel fired, not a warning shot, but a full-power blast aimed at their engine core. Quantum shields now, Rodriguez ordered. The attack struck a barrier of pure energy that seemed to bend reality itself, dissipating harmlessly into subspace. The alien vessels recoiled in surprise, their formation breaking slightly. They're scanning us again, Chen reported. Their energy readings are spiking, they're preparing a coordinated attack. Rodriguez settled into his command chair, his expression grim. Send an open transmission to their commander. Tell him this is his only warning. We came in peace, but we will defend ourselves. As the alien ships moved to surround them more tightly, Rodriguez couldn't help but wonder if this moment would be remembered as a tragic first contact, or the beginning of humanity's first interstellar war. Either way, the galaxy was about to learn that Earth was no longer the primitive world they thought they knew. The revelation of the Horizon Seekers' advanced shielding sent shockwaves through the Nexus Dominion fleet. Their formation tightened, weapons charged and ready, but there was a new hesitation in their movements. Within the Dominion flagship, High Commander Vexter watched the sensor readings with growing concern. Impossible, he muttered, his metallic features catching the light of multiple holographic displays. Their shield technology exceeds our theoretical models. How could they have advanced so quickly? The answer arrived in a way none of them expected. Space rippled and tore open in 12 different locations around their formation. Through these quantum breaches emerged vessels that had been previously cloaked and waiting, Earth's hidden defense fleet. The ships were entirely black, absorbing all light that touched them. Their designs were angular and predatory, each bearing the insignia of Earth's Special Defense Force. Leading them was the Nighthawk, commanded by Fleet Admiral Jun Nakamura, one of Earth's most decorated military leaders. This is Fleet Admiral Nakamura to all Dominion vessels. Her voice carried authority earned through decades of service. Your ships are now surrounded. Power down your weapons and prepare for diplomatic discussion. On the Horizon Seekers bridge, Captain Rodriguez allowed himself a small smile. The cavalry had arrived right on schedule. His ship's distress signal had activated pre-positioned fleet elements, executing a contingency plan decades in the making. Captain, Lieutenant Patel called out, Admiral Nakamura is requesting a secure channel. The Admiral's hologram appeared on the bridge, her silver-streaked hair pulled back in a tight bun, her uniform bearing the distinctive midnight blue and silver of Earth's elite forces. Captain Rodriguez, excellent work maintaining position. I trust your ship's systems are fully operational. Yes, Admiral, though I suspect our friends here are rather surprised by that fact. As intended, Nakamura's expression was stern. For 50 years, we've let the galaxy think we were primitive. It gave us time to prepare, to build, to advance without interference. But that deception ends today. The Dominion ships remained motionless, their commanders likely engaged in frantic communication with their superiors. High Commander Vexter's voice eventually broke through the tension, his previous arrogance replaced with diplomatic caution. Admiral Nakamura, this is an unprecedented situation. Your presence here with this level of technology violates numerous interstellar treaties. Treaties we never signed, Nakamura countered. Treaties that were created specifically to keep emerging civilizations under control. Earth chose a different path. Another quantum breach opened, larger than the others. Through it emerged the Prometheus, Earth's first true battleship. Its hull gleamed with a material that seemed to shift between states of matter, a product of human quantum engineering that had remained hidden from galactic society. By the first light, Vexter breathed, recognizing the implications of the technology before him. You've mastered quantum manipulation at a military scale. More than that, Nakamura replied. We've survived 3 attempted invasions of Earth that your Dominion never knew about, threats you dismissed as primitive pirates or raiders. Each time we absorbed their technology, learned their tactics, and improved our own. The bridge of the Horizon Seeker hummed with tension as Rodriguez watched the strategic display. The Dominion ships were completely encircled, their energy readings suggesting their weapons remained charged but their shields had been augmented. They were preparing for a fight they weren't sure they could win. Admiral Vexter's voice carried a new edge. If you're responsible for the attacks on our outposts. We are not, Nakamura cut him off. But we know who is. The same forces that tried to invade Earth are now targeting your borders. We've been tracking them, gathering intelligence, preparing to strike back. Why would you defend our territory? The suspicion in Vexter's tone was clear. Because isolation is no longer an option, Nakamura explained. Earth is ready to take its place in galactic society, but not as a subjugated world. We come offering alliance against a common enemy, but it must be an alliance of equals. Rodriguez watched as more holographic displays activated, showing tactical data that Earth's intelligence services had gathered over the years. Evidence of the true attackers, their movements, their bases of operation, all information the Dominion had missed. Your choice is simple, Nakamura continued. Continue treating us as primitives who need to be controlled, or accept that humanity has earned its place among the stars. Either way, the age of Earth's silence is over. The Dominion ship's energy signatures fluctuated as they processed this ultimatum. Humanity had hidden its true strength for decades, building and preparing in secret. Now, that strength was on full display not as a threat, but as a demonstration of what humanity could offer as allies. The Dominion Council will need to be informed, Vexter finally responded. This changes everything we thought we knew about Earth. It changes everything for everyone, Nakamura agreed. The galaxy is more dangerous than your Dominion admits. We've seen what's coming. The only question is, will we face it together or will pride and prejudice doom us all? As the standoff continued, Rodriguez couldn't help but marvel at how quickly everything had changed. In a matter of hours, humanity had gone from being seen as a primitive species to revealing itself as a major power. But he knew this was just the beginning. The real challenges and the real revelations were yet to come. The neutral zone erupted in chaos as the first wave of shadow ships emerged from hyperspace. Their hulls seemed to absorb light itself, making them visible only by the void they created against the star-filled background. These were the true attackers both humanity and the Dominion had been hunting, the Wraith Collective. Admiral Nakamura stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching tactical displays as more enemy vessels appeared. All ships, battle formation Delta. Captain Rodriguez moved the Horizon Seeker behind our defensive line. High Commander Vexter's hologram flickered beside her. Just hours ago, they had been on the brink of conflict. Now, facing a common enemy, ancient rivalries seemed suddenly insignificant. Admiral, our long-range sensors detect at least 30 Wraith vessels. They've never attacked in such numbers. Because they've never had to face our combined forces before, Nakamura replied, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. They're used to picking off isolated targets. Commander, I suggest we show them the error of their ways. The combined Earth-Dominion fleet moved with surprising coordination, their ships forming an intricate defensive pattern. The Prometheus led the human vessels, while Vexter's flagship, the Eternal Dawn, commanded the Dominion forces. Between them, they had 25 ships heavily outnumbered but not outgunned. First wave approaching, Lieutenant Patel's voice came through the command channel from the Horizon Seeker. Their energy signatures are shifting. They're using some kind of adaptive shielding. As expected, Nakamura nodded. Deploy the quantum disruptors. From the Earth vessels, streams of particles too small to see but powerful enough to tear reality itself began to flow. The technology was humanity's greatest breakthrough, weapons that didn't just damage shields, but temporarily disrupted the laws of physics around their targets. The first Wraith ship to hit the particle stream shuddered as its adaptive shielding failed. Its hull began to phase in and out of normal space, the crew inside likely experiencing temporal distortions that would make coordinated action impossible. Remarkable, Vexter observed, your weapons, they're unlike anything we've encountered. A combination of stolen Wraith technology and human innovation, Nakamura explained. We've been studying them since their first failed invasion of Earth, but watch closely, Commander, they adapt quickly. As if on cue, the remaining Wraith ships altered their approach. Their formation shifted into something organic, almost fluid, as they moved to surround the Allied fleet. When they attacked, it wasn't with conventional weapons, but with beams of absolute darkness that seemed to consume everything they touched. Void lances, Vexter warned. All ships emergency evasive maneuvers. The battle exploded into full chaos. Earth ships demonstrated their superior maneuverability, their quantum drives allowing them to practically teleport short distances to avoid the deadly beams. Dominion vessels relied on their powerful shields and heavy armor, absorbing hits that would have vaporized lesser ships. On the Horizon Seeker, Captain Rodriguez coordinated with the science team, analyzing the Wraith attacks in real time. Admiral, we're detecting a pattern in their Void Lance deployment. There's a 3-second vulnerability in their weapon systems right after firing. Transmitting targeting data to all ships, Patel added, if we time our attacks precisely. Nakamura didn't hesitate. All vessels synchronize weapons to the Horizon Seeker's targeting data, fire on my mark. The next few moments demonstrated why humanity had survived 3 Wraith invasions. Earth ships launched precision strikes during those 3-second windows, while Dominion vessels provided covering fire with their superior shields absorbing the retaliatory strikes. 6 Wraith ships fell in the first coordinated barrage, 8 more in the second, but the Wraith weren't finished. Their remaining vessels began to merge, literally combining into larger, more powerful entities. By the first light, Vexler breathed, they're evolving during battle. No, Nakamura's voice was grim. They're sacrificing ships to create something worse. All vessels fall back to secondary positions, deploy the resonance mines. Space itself seemed to warp as the merged Wraith ships formed 3 massive vessels, each larger than anything in either the Earth or Dominion fleets. Their surfaces rippled like liquid metal, weapons forming and dissolving as needed. Admiral, Rodriguez called out, our sensors are detecting massive energy buildup in those merged vessels. Whatever they're planning. He never finished the sentence. The 3 massive Wraith ships released pulses of void energy that began to tear open the fabric of space itself. Through these tears, more Wraith ships began to emerge, hundreds of them. This wasn't a battle, Nakamura realized. It was a trap. They wanted our fleets here together. Wise, Vexler demanded, what could they gain by? Because now both our homeworlds are vulnerable, Nakamura cut him off. This force isn't meant to destroy us, it's meant to delay us. The implications hit everyone at once. The Wraith hadn't been attacking random outposts. They'd been testing defenses, gathering data, and now they had drawn the most powerful ships of both civilizations away from their homes. As if confirming their fears, new alerts blared across every ship in the fleet. Long-range sensors detected massive Wraith fleets dropping out of hyperspace near both Earth and the Dominion homeworld. The real war was about to begin, and they were trapped light-years away from their people. In the aftermath of the Wraith's trap, the combined fleet's command center aboard the Prometheus had become a hub of frantic activity. Tactical displays showed the grim reality. Massive Wraith armadas approaching both Earth and the Dominion homeworld of Nexus Prime, while their own forces remained pinned down by an ever-growing enemy fleet. We need options, Admiral Nakamura demanded, her usual calm strained by the weight of Earth's peril. Around her, both human and Dominion officers worked side by side, centuries of distrust forgotten in the face of mutual destruction. Captain Rodriguez stepped forward, his uniform bearing scorch marks from a near miss during the battle. The Horizon Seeker's quantum drive might be our key. We've been analyzing the Wraith space-time distortions. There's a pattern we could exploit. High Commander Vexler's hologram flickered as another void lance struck his ship's shields. Explain quickly, Captain. Our time grows short. The Wraith aren't just creating tears in space, Rodriguez continued, pulling up complex sensor data. They're creating a quantum network. Every rift is connected if we can access one. We could access them all, Lieutenant Patel finished, her eyes widening at the implications. But sir, using their network would expose our ships to void energy. The risk of molecular breakdown would be acceptable, Nakamura cut in. Compared to losing our homeworlds, the question is, can we get enough ships through? Commander Vexler studied the data with his species' remarkable processing speed. Not all of them. The network would collapse if we sent more than a third of our fleet through each rift. We would have to split our forces. A heavy silence fell over the command center. Splitting their fleet meant neither Earth nor Nexus Prime would receive full protection. Some ships would have to stay behind to prevent the Wraith from following them through the network. There's something else, Officer Chen spoke up from his station on the Horizon Seeker. The Wraith aren't just coordinating through these rifts, they're sharing data. If we could tap into their network, we could see everything they see, Nakamura finished, including their battle plans for both homeworlds. The next few minutes were a blur of activity as both fleets prepared for what could be their final mission. The plan was audacious. They would split into 3 groups. The Prometheus would lead a third of the fleet to Earth, the Eternal Dawn would take another third to Nexus Prime, and the Horizon Seeker would command the remaining ships in holding off the Wraith while attempting to hack their network. The timing must be perfect, Vexler stressed. One miscalculation and we could lose ships in the quantum transition. Nakamura nodded grimly. Captain Rodriguez, your crew has the most experience with quantum mechanics. The Horizon Seeker will coordinate the jump sequence. As final preparations were made, Rodriguez found himself alone with his science team. Lieutenant Patel, what aren't you telling them about the quantum network? Patel hesitated. Sir, Our simulations suggest that accessing the Wraith network won't just let us see their data. It could let us rewrite it, change their commands, alter their coordination. At what cost? Whoever interfaces with their network would be exposed to pure void energy. Their consciousness would need to enter the quantum realm itself. She met his eyes. It would be a one-way trip. Rodriguez absorbed this in silence. As a captain, he knew his duty. As a scientist, he understood the principles. As a human being, he felt the weight of what had to be done. The next hour was a symphony of precision timing and desperate courage. At Rodriguez's signal, the Prometheus and Eternal Dawn led their battle groups into the quantum rifts, disappearing in flashes of impossible light. The remaining ships formed a tight defensive formation around the Horizon Seeker as it prepared for its most crucial mission. All stations prepare for network interface, Rodriguez ordered, removing his command insignia and handing it to Patel. Lieutenant, you have the bridge. Captain, no, she protested. Let me. Earth needs its best quantum physicist alive to study what we learn here, he cut her off. Besides, I'm already patched into the ship's systems. I know her better than anyone. As Rodriguez made his way to the interface chamber, alerts blared through the ship. The Wraith had realized what they were attempting. Their attacks intensified, focusing on the Horizon Seeker with savage fury. In the chamber, Rodriguez settled into the neural interface chair. Around him, quantum computers hummed as they prepared to send his consciousness into the Wraith network. He thought of Earth, of humanity's long journey from a primitive species to a quantum-age civilization. They had survived every challenge, adapted to every threat. They would survive this too. Interface initiated, Patel's voice came through the speakers, thick with emotion. Captain, it's been an honor. The honor was mine, Rodriguez replied. Now let's show these Wraith why you don't underestimate humanity. The interface activated, and Rodriguez felt his consciousness expand into the quantum realm. Through the Wraith network, he could see everything, their fleets approaching Earth and Nexus Prime, their battle strategies, their very thoughts translated into data. And then, with the last remnants of his human consciousness, he began to rewrite them all. The quantum realm shimmered with impossible colors as Captain Rodriguez's consciousness spread through the Wraith network. Time had no meaning here. He could simultaneously see the Wraith fleet approaching Earth, their armada nearing Nexus Prime, and their forces still engaging the Horizon Seeker. But more than that, he could see their very essence. The Wraith weren't just a collective, they were a hive mind, each ship an extension of a single vast consciousness. Their strength was their unity, but Rodriguez realized with crystal clarity that this was also their weakness. Through the quantum network, their thoughts flowed like data streams, vulnerable to one who knew how to read them. And humanity had spent decades learning to do exactly that. Near Earth, Admiral Nakamura watched in astonishment as the incoming Wraith fleet suddenly stopped their advance. Their weapons powered down, their coordination faltering. What's happening? The impossible, Lieutenant Patel's voice came through the quantum comm, strained but triumphant. Captain Rodriguez is in their network. He's rewriting their core protocols. At Nexus Prime, High Commander Vexter observed the same phenomenon. The Wraith ships began moving erratically, their perfect formation dissolving into chaos. Some vessels started firing on each other, while others simply shut down completely. But in the quantum realm, Rodriguez was fighting a battle beyond physical comprehension. The Wraith consciousness recognized his intrusion and responded with overwhelming force. Void energy crashed against his mind like digital waves, threatening to erase his very existence. The captain's neural patterns are destabilizing, Patel reported, her hands flying over the controls. He's losing cohesion. Rodriguez felt himself fragmenting, pieces of his consciousness scattering across the quantum network. But in that dissolution, he found his final weapon. As his mind broke apart, each fragment carried his last command, spreading through the Wraith network like a viral thought. Remember Earth, remember humanity, remember why you failed. The effect was catastrophic for the Wraith. Their hive mind, attempting to process Rodriguez's fragmented consciousness, began to fracture. Ship after ship lost connection to the collective, their crews suddenly isolated for the first time in their existence. All vessels open fire, Nakamura commanded as the Wraith fleet near Earth fell into disarray. Concentrate on ships showing power fluctuations. Similar scenes played out at Nexus Prime, where Vexter's forces took advantage of the Wraith's sudden vulnerability. Without their perfect coordination, the mighty armada became little more than a collection of powerful but uncoordinated vessels. On the bridge of the Horizon Seeker, Patel watched through tears as Rodriguez's life signs flatlined. But his sacrifice had achieved what no weapon could, the complete disruption of the Wraith's greatest strength. Status report, Nakamura demanded hours later, as the last Wraith ship fell silent. The threat has been neutralized, Vexter reported from Nexus Prime. But more importantly, we've captured intact Wraith vessels, their technology, their secrets, they're ours now. And we'll share that knowledge, Nakamura declared. Earth and the Dominion working together, it's what Captain Rodriguez died for. In the following weeks, as both civilizations began to recover, something unprecedented occurred. The Dominion Council, for the first time in its history, invited Earth to join as a full member, not as a subjugated world but as an equal partner. 1 month after the battle, aboard the newly commissioned station Rodriguez Memorial, Admiral Nakamura stood before a gathered crowd of humans and Dominion representatives. Behind her, through vast windows, the combined fleet of both civilizations hung in formation, a symbol of their new alliance. Today, we honor not just a hero, but a vision, she began. Captain Marcus Rodriguez gave his life not just to save Earth, not just to save the Dominion, but to prove that our differences are nothing compared to what we can achieve together. Lieutenant Patel, now captain of the Horizon Seeker, stepped forward with a data crystal. We've finished analyzing the quantum data from the captain's final moments. He didn't just defeat the Wraith, he left us a map, coordinates to their origin point, and a warning about others like them in dark space. Then we'll face those threats together, Vexter declared, his metallic features reflecting starlight. The Wraith thought they could exploit our divisions, instead they forged our unity. As the ceremony concluded, Patel walked to the station's observation deck. The Horizon Seeker was being refitted with hybrid technology, a combination of human quantum science and Dominion engineering. Soon, she would lead the first joint expedition into dark space, carrying forward the legacy of human ingenuity and determination that Rodriguez had embodied. The stars are changing, she murmured, watching distant suns twinkle. They always were, Nakamura replied, joining her. We just needed the right moment, the right crisis, the right hero to show us the way forward. In the vast darkness between those stars, quantum rifts were already closing, taking the Wraith threat with them. But they left behind something far more powerful than any weapon, the beginning of a new age, where humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer a question but a certainty. And somewhere in the quantum realm, fragments of Rodriguez's consciousness still floated, eternal witnesses to the legacy he had created. A legacy of unity, courage, and the indomitable spirit of humanity reaching for the stars.